All right, guys, welcome back. So this one is going to be a very simple edit, right? Very, very simple. We're going to be looking at working with a very simple, it'd be close to white background, but not something glamorous, but I'm very sure it's going to come out fine. So let's see how much we can be able to do. We're going to be using either of this lightning pattern. I'm not yet sure exactly the one that will fit in perfectly, but let's keep going. We'll see how much we can do. So without wasting much of your time, let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is to size my image. If you look at it, you're going to notice that it doesn't have a definite dimension yet. So we'll just, crop it using our regular 4x5 because we'll of course be posting it on social media handles. So I'm going to just expand this and expand this as well. Once I'm done, I'll make sure I turn on my content aware and allow it to fill up. Good, so that gives us a base to start working on. So pick up your rectangular marquee tool because we need to remove every single distraction here. We need to get it out. So pick up your rectangular marquee tool. Just make a rough selection like this. Hold your shift, add this part as well, maybe all of this area, then the floor as well. Let's add the tops in places. So once you're done, maybe you don't have to pedal, go to fill and content aware. So let's see how much it's going to do. Beautiful, that became very cool. So I'll just use my brush and fill up this fluff. So this is what we'll have. I love the fact that my shadows are perfectly retained because it's going to go a long way later in helping us achieve what we want to do. So the few patches that are remaining, we'll just use our remote tool and fix them. Good. So press enter and wait for it. So like I said, this is not going to be a complicated video. You're actually going to enjoy it quite a lot because it's basic level. Any Photoshop can achieve what we're doing. Okay, so once we're done doing that, I will need to turn off my internet so don't get distracted. So once I'm done doing that, I will need to separate my object from the background. So make a selection of your subject. Very important. Once the selection is made, right click and go to select inverse. I just noticed how toe wasn't properly added, so just add that still. And look at what we have over here. This area as well. Here as well. Okay, so once you are done, like a duplicate, then create a mask for this one. Just like that, press Ctrl I over the mask because we are selecting the background. So whatever you select is going to be on the white. So we are now selecting our object. Reload the selection again, hold your Ctrl, click right inside the mask. The selection is going to reload. Go back to your background, make a duplicate, then go to select, modify and expand. So we're expanding by 22 just to push it out. I think I need to expand with something lesser so that we don't lose our shadow. Let's expand by 10 pixels. Good. Then fill it up with content aware. So that removes the object entirely from the background, still retaining our shadow. So if I turn this off, you'll notice we'll have a very clean background right now, although a little bit of errors are here and there, but that's not going to affect anything because our object is going to cover it up anyway. So the next thing I'll do now is to smoothen out the background and make sure it's very clean. You can use your mixer brush tool if you want to go the longer way, but I'm not going to be going the longer way. I'll just go to my Gaussian blur and blur it out since I can still get my shadows back at the end of the day. Right now, if you look at it, we'll have a very clean background, but this is not the background I'm going for. I want to have a background that has a color very similar to her dress, but not entirely white. So we'll come to solid color, make a selection of any color around her dress, change the blend mode to color, for having luminosity or soft light. So I think soft light does the job. Then on our background parts, we need to push up the lightening a little. It's good. Now, if I turn on the background, you notice that originally we had a floor. Let me show you something. So if you don't want to go exactly the route we are going, because this is going to be a long one, let's use this technique. So before you blur, make sure that the blur tool you are using is your tilt shift blur. So what this is going to allow us to do now is that it's going to allow us to retain this particular line here, because this is the line that determines where the floor meets with the background. I can still blur this area, but I'll make sure I protect this line. Then blur it. So if I blur it now, you notice that the blurring is happening gradually. This whole area is 0% blur. This area up gives us from the gradation of 0 to 100. The same thing this area. So I can as well bring this in a bit to make sure it's quite clean, and do the same thing here. Press OK. So it's basically the same thing we did before, just that this time around we consider retaining the floor. Yeah. So the remaining parts we can use our mixer brush and just, manually fix that area. So don't start struggling with the floor much more later. Okay. So now if I introduce that same solid color and maybe change the blend mode to color, you see that my floor is there perfectly. Soft light, I have my floor. Overlay, I still have my floor. So I do not want this particular shadows hovering over my background. I can use my camera raw filter to lift the shadow. I can as well just introduce a curve like this. Let me brighten it up a little bit and lift the blacks. For my vignetting, instead of going into the darks, I can just push towards the bright area. So this lifts it for us, but it lifts it in such a way that we do not have control. So what we are going to do is that we are going to make a duplicate and still repeat the same filter. So now I can reduce the opacity of that effect on my object. Of course, if you want to reduce the opacity direct, you can press Ctrl Shift F, I guess, to reload, to open up the opacity of the last apply filter. You'll be able to control it from there, but I want to have this manual control. So looking at our object now, we need to put something that will break the pattern, something that will give our eye a place to focus on, something like that. And I will do that using any of these lightning effects here. So let's try the black effect first. So I'll just move it over, place it here. Let me expand it to be able, so that the lightning will be exactly where her feet is. So I can flip horizontally because I want it directly this side. So let's see the blend mode that will allow us to remove the blacks and retain the light. Good. Beautiful. So I think this does the job. Scream, but it's not as strong as it wants it to be. So we can expand a little bit more, then duplicate the layer into maybe like 3 or 4 to make sure that that lightning becomes very strong. So just duplicate by 2. This is the before, this is the after. But looking at the direction of the shadow, the lightning cannot come from that side, because where the shadow is coming from shows that our light is hitting from an opposite direction. So we can put this behind so that it still blends with the shadows we'll have. Beautiful. Okay, so I think we'll have to manipulate it out, because if you look at the edge of my object, we'll have beautiful lightning coming here, which shows there's a light source. So we can place a light source here when we have this one here. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to use my mask to paint it off the floor. To create a mask for the group, I'll use my mask to paint it off the floor like this, so that our shadow is perfectly retained and the effect is still perfectly contained. Another thing I need to do is to blur it out just a little, slightly, maybe like by 10 pixels. for the both of them. And we are good. The before, the after. So you see the way he gave that image a very beautiful drama over there. So to do an overall touch-up, I think my object is slightly dark. So I'll just take my object into camera raw and lift up her shadows a little, just slightly. Maybe add a little bit to the lightning and reduce the warmness slightly. Press OK. Beautiful. Beautiful. So come over here, go to our curves, lift the shadows up slightly. The overall shadow of the whole image. Bring it down a little bit. Add a little contrast. Add some highlights. And lastly, we'll apply a color lookup table that brings everything together. So I think I'll need to drop it down so we can see the results clearly. I love the way this looks. Okay, so we're working with this. Beautiful. The before, the after, just a tiny bit of that effect right there. So I'll create a stamp disable layer to put everything together, then go into my camera raw to do the final touch-up. So maybe lift my shadows a little bit, reduce the highlights slightly, or even increase it. Let's push it up a little. Add a little vignetting to make sure your eye keeps staying on the lady. So I think it's too cool. Nice one. So the only thing remaining on this particular image right now is to do a little bit of skin color grading and a little bit of skin retouching, and the job is done. Let me show you the overall before and after of everything we have done. So this was where we started, and this is the final result. This is the before, this is the after. Thank you so much for watching this amazing video. Do make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, and if you subscribe, make sure you turn on your notification bell to get notified every single time we'll drop a new video. Until then, see you on the next one.